All right, guys, top of the morning. Happy Wednesday, 23rd. Hopefully you guys are feeling alive, excited, ready to crush your day. I'm coming to you very grateful, and I'm gonna share a story with you guys in just a moment, but excited to be here. We have a meeting with a huge EXP company, our team down here, talking about opportunities for our team up north and impact in the industry. What they're doing here and the program that they're building can have a massive impact on the consumer. And here's my thought and my sentiment. A lot of what we do in the training is all centered around how do we get better. And I think as agents, we need to and we've had this conversation, but I want to have it right now briefly. I think what we all need to do is really look at the consumer journey. I want you to unpack this, and I want you to look at your entire consumer journey from start to finish, from the moment that you book an appointment to the moment that you hand them their keys, and then the life after that. How many times you're going to talk to them, the follow-up, all that, the clients for life. Like, what does that experience look like for your consumers? We train so heavily on making sure that you guys are well prepared, you know what to say, you know how to operate, but how much time, and I'm thinking about it in coaching, how much time do we really spend dissecting the consumer journey? And if you were to look at your consumer journey right now, I'm sure there's probably places in there where you could do things a little bit differently, enhance that, come with a little bit more heart or a little bit more thought, engagement. There's just so many things that we don't think about consciously every single day about their journey. And at the end of the day, you all are super important. But at the end of the day, it's really about the consumer. Their journey is what means the most. And in our industry, unfortunately, the consumers oftentimes are not the center of the thoughts about growth. It's a competition. Our company wants to be number one, all these things. How can we make sure our agents are number one? And I get that, and I'm super competitive. But the point of my conversation here is that how do we enhance the consumer experience from start to finish? Now, everyone will have a different response to that. What Gustavo will do, what might be different from Jamie, but if we're conscious of it, and when we're evaluating our systems, when we're evaluating our business plans, when we're going into our mid-year review, when we're going into our annual preparation for 2026, the question should be, how can I elevate and advance and enhance my consumer's experience right now to furthermore separate me from every other realtor in the industry? And if you can think about that consciously and unpack that, I promise you, you're going to find opportunities. You might find some gaps. You might find yourself saying, you know what, I really haven't given that much thought lately. I've just been grinding. We all need to slow down and think about the consumer journey, because that's who's most important in all of this. They are the hero. And we need to make sure that we're really evaluating and looking at their consumer journey. So I want to share that thought, that sentiment with you. I'm going to turn it over to Blessing. Blessing, as always, I'm going to have you bring us out on the field on this beautiful, amazing Wednesday morning. And, the floor is yours. Do whatever you do, but do it your way. So Blessing, I'm going to turn it over to you, and let's roll.
Well, thank you for turning it over. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Kind of piggybacking off of what you just said, the consumer has to be first. And the way that we show up for our clients is really, it honors them. So taking the time to speak to the consumers from a place of integrity it's never going to be a bad thing. But in order to do that, you have to start with yourself. So what are you trying to accomplish today? Who are you showing up? And is it the best version of yourself? And if any of those questions are a no, then take that time to reevaluate and make sure that you are leading from integrity, because you will attract yourself. So as a consumer, will you want to deal with yourself? Are you decisive? Do you know what you want? And are you clear, or are you wishy-washy and kind of half in, half out? So the clearer you are with you, the better you can be for your consumer. So take that time to really lead from integrity and ask yourself those questions.
Listen, I love it. Did you just say that you would attract yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, God, this is really good. I appreciate your sentiment.
I was talking with Ashley and reviewing clients and realizing that my last 4 transactions with her, those clients have 100% had my personality. And I was like, oh, I don't know that I necessarily want to deal with this particular personality. So let's adjust. But you attract you attract who you are. And that's the whole sentiment of being yourself. If you show up as yourself, you'll find your people. And Do you like what you're attracting?
Really, really powerful. I see Ashley shaking her head. Ashley, don't go too far by calling you. But Kelly Hilker, you threw your hand up. What do you got for us? Thank you, Blessing. Kelly, you're muted.
So right now, I have a client that is a seller and also going to be a buyer. But so this seller's husband passed away unexpectedly, and he was a hoarder. And so the last couple weeks, and I just met this person because I went and knocked on the door when I saw the dumpster out front, right? Well, the last couple weeks, I've developed such an amazing relationship with this family, and I have my son and his friends coming in every single day, trashing out this house. Like, she's like, I don't have any money. I said, don't worry about it. My team's gonna come in. We're gonna take care of you. We're gonna, get this chapter closed for you and move on to the next chapter. And honestly, I've done about 13 transactions in my career only, but this is the most amazing being able to help this family. And like, it's just like I get goosebumps thinking about it because, I mean, I just can't even imagine. The son found his dad dead up in the room. And like this just happened in December. This is all fresh. Anyway, I'm just saying that like in this business, stuff like situations like this are what makes me love being a realtor. So
Hmm.
just wanted to share that.
Wow. You know what? I appreciate that, Kelly. And I appreciate how far you go with your people and how much you truly, truly love on them. So really good contribution. You guys, I want to ask you a question. I need you to put your responses in the chat below. And now, by no means am I trying to call anybody out. It is what it is. It's reality. In 5 years from now, I want you to put what your age will be. Just do this. I have an exercise I want to take us all through. In 5 years from now, if you're driving, then be safe. Do this when you're not driving. So, man, 30 years old, huh? Man, 25. Let me just reminisce about 25 for a minute. Wow, 25. I was living in Tahoe, snowboarding every day. Man, I remember that year vividly. All right, so let's go through this. So 58, 30, 45. I said 58 with an emphasis. Sorry, Jeff. Sorry, Jeff. Let's go 47, 38. Let me let Randy in. 49, 34, 62, 29, 51, 46, 25, 49. Okay. Step in the door, waving 44, half of 92. Thanks, Michelle. Okay, now we have to sit here and do math. I'm trying to do a simple exercise, but thanks, Michelle. All right, so I will be, in 5 years, I will be 50 years old. All right. How many of you currently have any type of challenges that you are facing in your life and business right now? Please raise your hand if you're going through any challenges in life and business. I think that's safe for all of us to say. How many of you are going through any health challenges? Raise your hand. Obviously I got diagnosed with kidney disease last year, battling this injury, wasn't able to work out for 7 months. So you know the story. But I know this. I know that all of the struggles that each of you are facing right now in today's market, all the fires that you were putting out, all the things that you were trying to accomplish. I know that if you are in direct alignment with where you're going in 5 years from now, you're going to weather the storm. If you don't feel aligned to wherever you're going and your big purpose for this business, then everything's going to distract you. But what I want you to do for a second is I want you to do an exercise. Now, if you're on our intensity call earlier today, this will be different from that exercise. In 5 years from now, I want you to stop and I want you to realize and I want you to visualize and I want you to see what does your life look like as a result of all of your consistent effort over these next 5 years. What does your life look like? What have you become? Who have you impacted? Where have you gone? What does your business look like? How many families have you served? What's happening within your own family? Maybe you just had a kid, your baby is off to kindergarten. Maybe they're graduating high school. Maybe they're getting married. How do you look? How much money have you saved? What is the emotional state that you are in? What is the psychological state that you are in? How have you grown your relationships? How have you grown within your family? Who have you touched and impacted? What stages have you spoke on? Like, what does your life look like in 5 years from now? And if you can see that, and you could see yourself sitting there and experiencing all this wealth, and you think about how much money I actually have on my bank account, and no longer am I working paycheck to paycheck, and no longer, as soon as I get that commission check, it is out the door because I am deep in debt. No longer am I fearful of where my next check is coming from because I have so much consistency in my life. No longer do I have fears about how I'm going to provide for myself and my family. That does not exist because I did the work. So I want you to go 5 years from now. And I also want you to ask yourself right now, if that person could look at where you are right now and pick your hand up and say, Jamie, I got you, and give you some words of encouragement and words of advice that are going to pull you through the next 5 years because they've seen what you've been able to create. They know what you are going to do in this beautiful thing that we call life. What advice is that person going to give you right now? What advice is that person going to give you right now? Knowing that they're sitting in the success that you have created for yourself because of your consistent action, the discipline that you displayed over the next 5 years. What is that person going to sit down and talk to you about right now? What type of advice would that person give you? And I'd love to hear anybody share their thoughts and contributions on that. And I'm going to let that sit for a second, you guys. Anybody want to share with me what that person would say to you right now? And don't leave me hanging on this one, you guys. This is heavy. I know it. And I put here in the chat, how would your daily actions change if you truly believed your future self was already real? Right? Like, how would that change your daily habits? So listen, don't leave me hanging on this. Don't leave me out here on this fucking emotional roller coaster by myself. Thank you. I need 2 more people to get involved in this conversation. And then I'm not going to go any further. Appreciate you. Ashley, since you were first up and then it went down, she was just trying to spark some interest. Thank you. I can't do this without you guys. So we're going to spend a few minutes here and then we're going to get right in the conversation about the market. Ashley.
So my kids are 12, 8, and 5. And my first thought was my future self would say the moments that you're present with your children now are going to determine your relationship with them for the rest of your life. So as much as you're focused on the business and finding the rhythm and being consistent, make sure that they truly come first because that's forever and those relationships are forever. And then the second thing that came up for me was do the things that you're scared of. If you're scared of it, you have to go do it.
Wow. Wow. And in 5 years from now, how long have you been married?
9 years.
9 years. And what does that look like? What is your relationship like with my best friend, your husband?
We are traveling, we have freedom. He's off 4 days of the week, and we're planning trips, and we don't even think about the money because we have planned for this period of our life so that we can be best friends and hanging out and making the world our playground.
God, I absolutely love this. I absolutely love it. Let's go to Aaron Crisp, and then we'll go Otis. You'll be on deck, and then I'll get through all the other hands. Let's go, Aaron. What's your thoughts and contributions on this?
I think I would, my future self would dab me up. I've already done a lot and joining the space, getting in this after being years of feeling comforted by, what I had been doing. Taking this step was something big for me and something that I had been afraid to do for years. So I'd probably dab myself up for that. Remind myself to just keep pushing, man, keep going. On Monday, you're 3 feet from gold. So to just remind myself to keep pushing. And then, yeah, with my family, again, dapping myself up to keep on the path that I am with the family, to be a better father, be a better parent, and all of it together just makes you a better person. So the business and keep pushing, keep doing the right thing, keep your head up, keep fighting through all the adversity, knowing that it's gonna be golden on the other side, 3 feet away.
Yeah, man, I absolutely love this. I absolutely love this conversation. Really good contribution. Let's go, Otis. Otis, what do we got for them, my man?
That was deep, man. I read your sensitive post the other day, and kind of this relates to that. And I don't know if that's where you got the exercise, but telling yourself, man, it's gonna be okay. We've gone through the dark times, and basically we put it in a ship in the water. Your ship was at the bottom of the ocean floor, and somehow you've got it to come back up to start floating in a really rapid path. So keeping on, everybody talks about being a boss, but I really do see myself being a boss, having my own business, having my own brokerage, doing different things, and really elevating myself as far as business in 5 years. My son will be pushing 9, almost 10. And I'm excited to see him, becoming a young man now, and then seeing his progress, hopefully sports and other things, and just seeing him become a bigger, better human. And then as far as 5 years from now, hopefully my grandma's still here. She'll be pushing 90. My mom will be pushing 72. My dad will be pushing 79. I'll be 44. My brother will be 52. So just seeing them, seeing my nieces, they'll be damn near fucking like graduating high school. So 19, 13. So it's gonna be crazy. Boys are gonna be involved. My stepdaughter, she'll be 13. Our oldest will be 26. So it's like, it'll be fucking weird, but I'm excited to see the journey and see myself, seeing my young protege Jacob. He'll probably be a boss. He might have his own brokerage. Dude might surpass me. Shit, not even 5 years less than that. But Gary's growth, Marissa's growth, like just all the people that I've touched and worked with, just seeing us all, seeing Team Fast, seeing where we're all at, seeing who'll still be on these calls. So just, yeah, man, full of gratitude, feeling good, like in years of darkness and despair and depression, seeing the positive, the progression and positivity now. So just feeling it, man. I guess just, excited to see where the next 5 years go.
I absolutely love this. And you guys, I was reminded of this yesterday. So Vernon and I fly down for this meeting, and I literally had 35 minutes to stop and to see my mom. So I told my mom, meet me at the side of the road at this gas station. That way I could just get a hug and tell you I love you. And we sit down, literally grab some food. We sit down for just a few minutes and we're talking. And then my mom's an emotional creature. If you've ever met her or seen her, my mom starts crying. And she said, when you left this town, she said, none of us saw it, what you saw. She said, you saw something that was way bigger, and you made a choice to leave this town and get out of here and create this life for yourself. And she's like, I see you now. She's like, Mijo, like, I'm so proud of you. And like, she cried. And Vernon was right there. And actually, Vernon recorded my mom. But anyways, she cried. And she's just like, I'm so proud of you. And I look at my life and I'm like, Mom, I've done a lot, but like, I haven't even got started. Right? I haven't even got, that's how I look at it. Like a mom, I'm like, I haven't got to the place now or place in my life where I could retire you. And when I look at 5 years from now, keep going, keep fighting, keep building, keep impacting so you can give your mom everything that she needs. And 5 years from now, my mom doesn't have to worry about anything. Right? She doesn't have to worry about anything as a result of my success. So that person in 5 years from now is telling me, Elias, look at all you've been through. You got this. Keep going. Head down. Keep grinding. Keep staying disciplined. Keep showing up. Keep shaking hands. Keep elevating. Right? That person's cheering me on right now. And it was a really, really powerful moment. So Otis, I appreciate your contributions. I got some new hands up, and I'm going to go to our OGs in a second. But Gustavo. Now, Gustavo, I don't know how far into this conversation you want to go, but my man, you've been through shit that most of us will never experience, and I'll allow you to speak however you want to on this call, but I'm really glad that you raised your hand, my man. What's your thoughts and contribution?
Yeah, well, I'll be vulnerable. I mean, I don't mind sharing what I went through. This past year, probably since November of 2023, actually, I was dealing with cancer, and I had to go through 6 rounds of chemo. Had about 4 surgeries. I'm all scarred up in my stomach now and my chest. But yeah, it taught me a lot of things. It taught me that you could basically buy a lot of things in life, but you can't buy time. Like that's one thing that you for sure will never be able to buy. And well, I'd assume in my 20s, I'd probably be like, enjoying my time that I have, going out and all that. But I had to deal with a lot of adversities even before that. And in 5 years from now, I at least now was taught early on in life that I'm able to have a lot more clarity and reflect on the things that I went through and not let all the thoughts that I have in my mind consume me and bring me down and make me feel overwhelmed. So as long as I'm focused and being consistent in what it is that my goal is, I know that I'll be fine on just focusing on that long-term goal day by day.
And Gustavo, for everyone on this call, how's your health now, today, right now?
Thankfully, I was declared in remission in February, so now I'm just doing a lot better and getting back to it, getting back to a routine.
And is closing on his first deal, which is totally like secondary. But man, like how old are you for the people that have not met you?
Turning 26 in July, so still 25.
So yeah, 25 years old, you guys. And like imagine going through that at such a young age when that's the age where what were we doing at 25? I know where I was at. I was at the bottom of a bottle of whiskey. I was partying in Tahoe. I was just doing the thing, right? And so to be able to have that happen to you, you know, it's a blessing, obviously, because now you're looking at life and you're reflecting in a different way. And that reflection might have taken you longer in life to see. It might have. Not saying that it would have, but it might have. And sometimes when we go through shit like that, it really makes us look at our life and say, what is truly important to me? What is important to me? And so, my man, I'm really happy that you contributed and threw your hand up. So we're all happy for you. We're so happy for you.
Thank you.
All right, Gabriella, let's go. And then we'll go back up to our OGs. Let's go, Gabriella. What do you got for them? 5 years from now, you're having a conversation about all the things you're going to go through in the next 5 years. What's that sound like?
I mean, I feel like my future self would just tell my current self, like, just get it together and stay consistent every day. It's gonna all pay off, you know?
Yeah, like get it together, stay consistent. It's all going to like a simple message, but there's so much truth and validity to that. And
Right.
Gabriella, isn't it safe to say if we're talking about this is all rooted in psychology, right? And obviously there's some emotion involved in this, but psychologically, if you can say this out loud and you could already tell yourself the advice that you need to hear, then we can act on that right now. Right? It's like I'm already telling myself that now. So, well, hold on a second. Like this already exists. I'm already that person. I just need to remind myself throughout my journey that you got this. Stay consistent, stay disciplined. Don't drink that bottle. Get up early. Do the things, right? And so,
Right.
yeah, it's already in us. Or you don't
Right.
need. Now I'm here for help, but you don't need me. Each of you already has everything that you need in order to go out there and create the life of your dreams.
That's true.
Gabriella, I appreciate you showing up and thanks for being a contributor so early in your journey with Keep It Moving. Let's go Evangeline and then we'll go Heather and then we'll go Blessing and Dee. Thank you.
Yeah, I really relate to the parents now because to think like my little newborn would be 5 years old is so crazy. And it is true, you can fail yourself, maybe you shouldn't, but you won't fail your kids. So, I mean, I'm grateful to say in some ways, I already feel like I'm happy where I am now in terms of gratitude, like to come from, my father was an addict. My mom worked all the time. So we were latchkey kids. And now to be very present with my child, stop being in real estate. I was always afraid to get into real estate. And then thankfully I did get laid off from corporate America so I could be here. But I'm just excited to see what 5 years looks like in that consistency, in that grind. My husband will be out the Marine Corps. So I'm just looking forward to, I'm grateful now, but even hungrier for how good how much better it can be through work and discipline.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Good stuff, Evangeline. Let's go Heather and then we'll go Blessing and then we'll go Dee Bledsoe.
Bear with me here. I made notes around my intensity notes because I'm jotting things down while we're doing this. Hang in there, power through. I would tell myself, you got this. Control your schedule. Don't let it control you. Set boundaries, time limits. Control your schedule, time limits. Don't let it control you. Set boundaries, time limits. Prioritize by importance, but by all means, prioritize and schedule because it's necessary to level up in business and in life. this is what I'm realizing, because I'm realizing this is one thing I think that's held me back and kept me from leveling up. If you don't, you're going to miss out on so many things with Charlotte and Neil, which I'm realizing I am with Charlotte and Neil, because you're stuck in the mud. And I'm realizing that I am, that I went over to another piece of paper. I'm like, I need more paper. I'm missing out on so many things with Charlotte and Neil because I'm stuck in the mud, because I'm stressed and I'm worried, and I'm like, you know, I'm never in the moment. I'm not present. And that's a big thing, you know, and I'm not setting time aside for them. I'm not prioritizing scheduling. I'm just, okay, let's go. Let's do this so I can get back to some other thing. You know, I'm not in the moment, and that's a big thing, and I'm missing out on so much stuff. You know, Charlotte's 12 and she's changing, and she's such a different person than she was before, and it's a huge deal. And then I said, I need to do these things. This is what I'm telling myself. Do this so you can live in the moment and fully enjoy your family time. Do this. I told myself I wouldn't get emotional. Stop. Do this so you can broaden Charlotte's horizons. Do this so you can do care, so you can do fun, carefree things as a family. Do this so you and Neil can achieve all of your goals. Oh, I hear you. Oh, okay.
No, I just wanted to pause for a second because Heather, that was really, really powerful. Everyone's contribution has been powerful. Let me not discount anybody's contributions, but that was really powerful because I want you to ask yourself a question, and whether you're coaching with me or you have another coach, it doesn't matter. I want you to ask yourself, like, how am I currently getting coached, right? My hope is that there's some consistency with me, that there's a level of accountability, there's emotional maturity, there's a psychological impact. That's my responsibility. But I also want you to ask yourself right now, how am I performing as a coach for myself?
Yeah.
Like, how am I, like, you just coached yourself up right now. And if you can remember that and reflect back to that, you guys need to coach yourself in a way that is way bigger than I can ever do it. You sit with your thoughts. I can't be with you all the time. I know how I'm coaching you, but how are you coaching yourself? And that messaging is of the utmost importance, because that messaging is also creating your self-image. The self-image is what's going to pull you through and keep you motivated, so on and so forth. And we'll dive deeper into that. But how are you coaching yourself? How are you coaching yourself? And Heather, you just had an amazing coaching session with yourself, and you need to remind yourself of that all the time. It's a really powerful message, Heather.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. It keeps me up at night. I think about that. I'm like, oh my God, you know, it's just, that's where I want to be. I want to be there.
Let's go. I love it. Let's go. Blessing, what's your contribution? Thanks for throwing your hand up. And once again, Heather, thank you for that. Blessing, what do you got for us?
So really, really powerful contributions from everyone. It was already said, but something that came to mind immediately was that everything you need is within you. So every dream that we've had, there's dreams that I had 10, 15 years ago that pop up every now and then and give me glimpses of the future. If, just like Heather was saying, I would pause and listen to it. But the seeking for external validation or for titles or degrees or things that to make me feel complete, don't need any of that. It's everything is within me. And the biggest two things, the biggest thing that I keep hearing future self say that is getting closer and louder is to believe in myself, is genuinely believe that future me can happen, but also that she is right here. Like the skills, the poise, all of it's here right now. It's just underneath all of that baggage that has no validity. It has no weight unless I choose to. So truly believing in myself. But probably the more powerful thing is, just like everyone's talked about, the kids. I'm freaking out because Jabal's going to be 16 right now, but in 5 years, he's going to be almost 21. That's wild. And if I think about how I show up for him now, and what I would remind myself is to keep speaking life into him, to keep saying the positive things, like whether he just walked out and gave me like the absolute teenage angsty face, but he hears everything. So to keep speaking life, to keep showing up positively, to keep that awareness that I keep digging into that might feel excruciatingly painful for me. That rawness and realness is going to set him on a completely different path. Like, we're all trying to break generational curses. And I know, like, his path is something I can't even imagine, but I'm so excited for. So just to continue showing up positively for him.
Wow, really, really cool. Really incredible. Like, yeah, I agree. Like, just powerful, powerful contributions today. And man, it's just incredible hearing, like, processing everything that everyone's saying. It's just really incredible. Like, my cup is overflowing right now. Let's go D Bledsoe, then we'll go Chris. And then we're gonna shift gears. D, we'll come back to you. Chris, what do you got for us?
Oh yeah, just talking about the 5 year thing, and I'm just reflecting. And my eldest son, he's turning 30 in July. 30, and we haven't had the best relationship, 'cause I had it when I was really young. I was like barely out of high school, and no one gave you a manual on how to raise a kid, And we had a lot of ups and downs. I had to do tough love and kick his ass out the house a few times growing up when he was being disrespectful. But he just texted me this morning saying that, like, he got a promotion about a month ago. He worked for one of the biggest liquor distribution companies, and he was an outside sales rep that's traveling all over the Bay Area, everywhere, visiting liquor stores, grocery stores, and all their vendors. So he got a promotion, and he just texted me this morning and said, "Dad, my first month in, I outproduced everybody in the office," and he got 4 free Giants tickets, and like, I was about to cry. I turned to my wife and I was like, "Look at this text. Did you even know that CJ could be a salesman?" Like, I had no clue that he could be a salesman. He was like the black sheep of the family, and like, he just texted me that, and it just warmed my heart, and that he's in a good place in life. He can make 6 figures. They doubled his income. He's making commissions now, and I'm just like, that's what's about. You know what I mean? You go through trials and tribulations, and you have issues with people, but when it's all said and done, you just be mindful, like, walk every day with being intentional. Because if you be intentional and you master your mind, good things will happen. Yesterday is yesterday. So just everybody just be totally intentional, and 5 year plans, man. Every 5 years can get better, all the way up for us, man. Let's go.
Chris, congratulations to your son, but I think that a lot of that success, whether or not it's conscious or subconscious, it was watching you grow, it was watching you grind, it was watching you become a great salesperson, that those things are already deep rooted in him. And so shout out to you, shout out to your wife as well. What I want you guys to do about this 5 year thing, when you guys are really picturing it, those moments where you're having a real struggle, right? And it's tough, and maybe you're not in contract or whatever, you're challenged, or you're trying to figure something out. It's really, really challenging. And you're sitting there almost like at a point of like, fuck, like I feel a little bit broken. I want you to envision yourself like reaching out, putting your hand on your shoulder, but like, you got this, and giving yourself that message, right? Or lifting out or putting his hand out or her hand out and like saying, "I got you. And here's what I'm going to do and say to you and coach you." Like, if you could literally visualize that person telling you all the things that you need to hear, then you guys, it's already within you. It's already within you. So Chris, I appreciate it. D Bledsoe, let's try one more time, bro. What do you got for us?
My bad. I was over here laughing with somebody in the gym. But this is a deep question that I kind of pondered over the last week. We've owned this one Honda for 10 years and bought it a little bit before we got married 10 years ago. And we lived in an apartment downtown, so we couldn't have 2 cars, no parking. Fast forward, this weekend, we bought a new car, brand new, never purchased a brand new car, 11 miles on it. But it made me think about all of the shit in between in those 10 years. 5 years ago, when I paid it off, that same year is when I joined Team Pass, basically. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't even know how I'm going to pay my car note. But then months later, after joining Team Pass, I hit off for like 4 million in a week in sales. And I paid the car off like a couple months later. So I've just been reflecting, and yesterday I got to take my baby girl, the 3-year-old, to the San Francisco Zoo. I haven't been there since 15 years ago, taking my son on a field trip. But it made me reflect again how fast time goes. So I just, 5 years from now, I would tell myself now, just keep on, keep going, keep working until it works, but keep enjoying the ride, keep being grateful, because I think that's where most of my issues come from, is not living in gratitude, but being grateful for it all. The time is well spent, because my ultimate goal is just to contribute, give something while I'm here.
Oh man, God, that's really, really powerful. And listen, we have a Honda that I bought years back. It's a 2008 little Honda Civic EX. And I gave it to Larissa when she was 17. She's 20 now, has 196,000 miles on it. I'm telling her, rock that thing until it has 300,000. I said, there's no need to buy a car. She's like, well, maybe I'll just use it and then buy a new car. I said, no, you go buy yourself a car. You give that back to me, and I'm going to mob it to the bay until the wheels fall off. I don't need to drive my car to the bay every day. So, man, I hear you there with the holding on to, the grateful message. So let's shift. Go ahead, D. Would you have?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I went and detailed it the same day we bought the new car, and I was like, "Oh, this Honda ain't so bad. I'm gonna still drive it when the wife is driving a new one."
That's right. That's right. All right, guys, let's shift gears. Hopefully you found this exercise helpful. I obviously, anytime I'm in San Diego, anytime I see my mom, it really makes me reflect. And her breaking down, crying, not because she was sad, just because she was genuinely happy. It was just a powerful moment that I had to share with you guys. You know how I am. I'm a creature of emotion. So let's do this. I want to call on Ashley. Ashley, I want to hear from you. Let's just have a quick conversation about the market conditions, patterns, nuances, and what you guys are seeing or what you're seeing. And then I want you guys to get involved in this conversation. Even if you feel that your dialogue might be a little choppy, this is what we do. We practice here. So Ashley, from your vantage point, what are you guys experiencing? Because it seems like things are at a really good position, but it depends, I guess, on who you ask.
Right. Everyone's going to have their own vantage point. The common consensus right now is that there's a lot of inventory overall. Obviously, the Bay Area is a special creature, so different markets might not experience this, but overall, more inventory. Buyers' purchase volume is actually up. So if you look at 22 and 2023, I found out those are actually the worst purchase volume, like contracts coming in history, like literally ever. So we're working off of the worst time. So if you were successful in 2022 and 2023, that says something about you and your team. But for 2024, we are seeing an uptick in purchase volume. So more people are buying, but there's even more inventory out there. So the people who are buying are getting absorbed quickly. So more people are going into contract. And it seems to be the best of both worlds where you can get a seller credit. And I think the statistic was 43% of homes right now nationally are getting a seller credit. It's a good compromise so that the seller can net what they want and the buyer can work out some type of 2-1 buy down or permanent buy down to get a comfortable payment that they want. So in my vantage point on the buyer side, it really is a win-win market, even on the seller side, because in a lot of cases, I see people offering a little bit more to compensate for that seller credit so that the seller is netting close to, if not what they want. So it creates a lot of win-win situations. And as far as interest rates, there's a lot of headline things going on right now, and we're seeing a lot of volatility. Today, Trump says he's not going to fire Powell after all. And that was a joke, I think is what he said. And so the markets reacted well to that. And then he said, oh, well, I think he hinted at coming off a little bit on the tariffs on China, which also made the market react well. So interest rates are heading downward now. So I'm eating my popcorn watching the headlines, but today we are watching interest rates go in the right direction for our clients.
Wonderful. Wow. I really, really appreciate this. While Ashley is here, because Ashley is an encyclopedia about information about the market, not only locally, but as well as nationally. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts, or anything that they're experiencing on the lender side, or excuse me, with dealing with the clients that, would be on the lender side that maybe you want to ask Ashley while she's here? Because I think that this is obviously our time. Anybody have any questions, thoughts, contributions for Ashley? Going once? Going twice? Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, cool.
Oh, I do.
Yes, go ahead,
Sorry,
Evangeline.
I'm pumping out here.
Okay.
Ashley, so yeah, that's what that noise is in the background. Ashley, I have been getting the question from a lot of consumers of just like the general overall, like, so what's going on? Like with all of these tariffs and stuff, how's the market? And I can speak to naturally the real estate market. I think that we've been doing well about that. But of course, naturally, people are concerned about their money and what's going on there. So I don't know. I mean, we've already been hearing this conversation a lot, I feel, but like, do you have a summarized pitch you can answer with that?
So, yes, if what's going on with the tariffs is basically you can equate to fear. They don't need to know the semantics of the economics and how that affects things because everyone's going to have their own opinion on how that's going to affect inflation, short term and long term. But what you can explain to them is tariffs are fear, and fear usually makes the stock market go down. And when people are fearful, they usually run to safety. And so there's a lot of back and forth right now in the market, but it's like basically right here. And overall, interest rates year over year are trending down. And I like to highlight during this conversation, if somebody asks me, what's going on with the market? What's going on with tariffs? I'll start by answering their question, but I always circle back to say it's a great time to buy because you're able to get seller credits. When people are fearful, you go in, you can buy your interest rate down, you end up with a lower payment than if interest rates happen to be lower on them by themselves. So just highlighting that, right now you have the leverage to get those seller credits, buy down your interest rate, and end the day with a lower interest rate than what you would have had if it just was naturally lower.
Yeah,
Does that make
hopefully
sense?
Evangeline. Yeah, she's mid pump. So Evangeline, just want to make sure you got your question answered or addressed or actually have some dialogue.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
All right, cool. You guys, I put 2 articles down below that I want you guys to read over the next couple of days. One of them is an article that is it's San Francisco Chronicle, and it talks about our industry, inventory levels since pre-pandemic and where we're at with inventory. I think this is a really, really good article. Also, there's a heat map there so you can see geographically where it outlines. Also, there is an article here that states, let's see here. What was that article? Sorry. There's another one about consumers' fears related to tariffs and so on and so forth. Let me put that down here. Yep, I put that in there. So there's 2 different articles that I want you guys to just take a look at, form your own narrative, make sure that you guys do your own research. Ashley, was that another hand or is it an old hand?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out one more resource. If you guys like podcasts while you're driving, doing your showings, Housing Wire Daily, they give a lot of really good statistics that if you throw out there, make you sound smart with your clients. And it's really good. They do it like a new one. There's one out today, there's one out yesterday. So it's really up-to-date information so that you can stay current what's going on the market side.
Beautiful, beautiful. And another thing I want you guys, and I'm going to go to somebody on the call really quick, but another thing I want you to do, if you're in our Slack channel, if you're not, then let me know, I can add you. There is tons of information that we're putting in about the clear cooperation. This is part of you understanding what's happening in the market so you can articulate this to the consumer. If you've not gone down the rabbit hole about clear cooperation, the impact that has for our consumers in a positive way, I want you guys to make sure that you're reading about the industry so you can have these types of conversations with fellow agents at other brokerages, as well as with your consumers, and how this impacts them positively. So let's go around the room. I want a couple of people to volunteer. Who wants to share with me what they're experiencing in the market right now, from their showings, from their listing, from that tough neighborhood where they can't get anything accepted? Who wants to give me a quick overview? I don't care where you are on the call, about the reality of the market that you serve right now. Who wants to share? Anybody want to go? Don't be shy. All right, cool. So let's go Nicole, and then let's get one other person involved in the conversation. So Nicole's up. I'm gonna give it 10 seconds. All right, cool.
I feel like in Oakland, a lot of the sellers are still not in the reality as to where the shift in the market. I think a lot of them are still stuck in 2020, 2021. And as a result, properties are sitting longer and they're being kind of forced into having to offer credits to be able to get it done once they start getting in more of a crunch as far as how long the property is just sitting.
So then knowing that, how do you combat that? And what's the dialogue with your consumers?
So I do a lot of data showing the comps, showing how long something's set on market, how many offers they got, how where it listed, where it sold. But what I'm finding with my sellers right now is they don't care. They they're like such and such didn't, you know. So it's having to be like, well, if we're not seeing anything in 2 weeks, we're gonna have to start making adjustments. But yeah, I think because of that, you're seeing, because I've seen with other listings that I posted open houses for other agents as well. It seems to be like, because I do a lot of open houses, it seems to be across the board thing. Like, oh man, this house is back on again, or you know, oh, this one's been sitting for a minute, but it's just too high.
Yeah, but I think it's also market specific, and the data is what tells us the story. But I believe too that there's just more competition out there, right? When there's low inventory, then it's a simple supply and demand. With a ton more inventory, yeah, we're hoping that we're going to have more buyers, but buyers have more options, and so they might overlook that house and go look at a different one. So I appreciate your sentiment on that. Let's go, Chris. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that's more so specifically Oakland. I had a situation, a contract I'm closing today. The buyer made offers on 2 houses on that street. One was responsive, one wasn't, and we still ended up getting $8,000 in credits and going in 9,000 under asking.
Okay, awesome. Let's go, Otis, and then we'll end with Chris B.
Serving multiple markets has really been, a strong point for me for like literally the last 2 years, because it's been able to let me kind of like touch and feel how they act and how they, how to act and react in certain instances. But what I've been seeing a lot with Jacob, but a lot of our buyers, the people that are, freshly coming in, and even ones that we've been doing months, 3 to 6, 9 months worth of follow-up coming back. But you're getting a lot of buyers that are more eager and more acceptable now, that are willing to take on higher, credit wise, higher, repair wise and damage wise on homes. Like they're looking in beginning stages at 8 to 10, 12 as a lot, but then going through the wormhole, going through a lot of showings, going through a lot of reports, liking more houses in their neighborhoods, more closer to work, whatever. They're just more game to like work with you on certain things like that, compared to being like, I remember we could have this one client, Vanessa, she's been so hard to deal with, because like in the beginning we could have closed on the home they really wanted like maybe 5-6 months ago, but she let it go off for $3,000 worth of damage, and we really worked our way down to that. We were shocked, but now they're looking at 15-20,000. So just it's a waiting game. When they're ready, they'll be there. If you're holding it down and giving them data, like that's always, the basics are always good, but you got to kind of detail them to that specific client. So the tax money is kind of still there, maybe not there, so working on those angles. And then right now, because of tariffs and everything, giving them some comfortability. Like that's why all this week we've been sitting through a lot of lunch and learns and seeing what specific lenders have as far as programs and stuff like that. So it's time to really get that tool belt ready, because the buyers are really literally coming back regardless of what's going on with the economy and everything.
Yeah, well, 100%, man. I appreciate your contribution as always. Let's have you, Chris. You'll be the last contribution, big dog. What are you seeing up in the Sacramento market?
I've been working a few different markets. We actually just closed on a house in Vallejo, and it was pretty easy to get. We only offered 5K over, and the listing agent gave us all of the Section 1 credits and roof repairs. Turnkey home by American Canyon. Other homes here in Sacramento, I'm seeing that it's really a good time to get credits. One of my buyers that we're closing this week, we got pre-approved with a couple of new home builders, and I pretty much had them tee off on each other. I was like, give me the best deal. My client doesn't want to pay above $4,500 a month, and I need the best deal. So they both like kind of battled it out, and next thing you know, I'm getting over 60 grand back, a 4.3% rate, 40K off the list price. So I'm just like, damn, like they don't ever advertise that. They're only advertising like 2% back or 5K. But when you start really, like when you get a quality buyer pre-approved with them, and you leverage the builders against each other when they're all in the same area, you know, they're going to want to move their inventory because they're a corporation and they got to make their numbers and they got to close out the phase. So right now is a great time to negotiate deals. As far as my listings, I have a listing closed as well. I'm not seeing 4 or 5 listings. I have a turnkey, beautiful listing that's remodeled, like 80 grand into it, and we sold it for list price, and we credited back some Section 1. So it's not flying off the market, but we got 2 offers on that. So I see right now is the perfect storm for both buyers and sellers. And if you could convey the message as a professional to both parties, sellers or buyers, you could get them to act, because this volatility in the economy brings opportunity, not uncertainty. So have them to take action right now and make that move, because you have a little window right now. When the rates come down and shit gets crazy, they're going to overpay and start releasing contingencies again. So just make shit happen, and the sellers just want to move stuff because they don't want to waste time right now. With all things going on, they just want to sell. So I'm seeing like both sides have been pretty easy to convert right now, honestly.
Yeah. Absolutely love it. Yeah, absolutely love it. And like I said, you guys, we're always going to be dealing with something in the market. There's always going to be something. It's your responsibility to control the narrative, right? In every single market, since the beginning of time immemorial, real estate has always been the sure bet. That's never going to change. But what happens is that people have all the thoughts and all this fear and all this doubt and all these trepidations. That's our responsibility. Why do we have these conversations? So you feel more confident to make sure that you're articulating the reality of the real estate market. And I'll say that until the end of my days. We're going to pause there. Let's go around the room, get a couple key thoughts and key takeaways. Miranda Harris, one key takeaway from our time together today. Thank you for being here once again. Great to see you on camera. One key takeaway from our time together. And then Jamie, you'll be up next.
Thank you, Elias, for having me. I switched to my tablet so you guys could see me, and I was driving earlier. What I took away is to reevaluate my 5-year plan. When I started taking real estate classes last year, that plan was in the back of my head. Now it's time to bring it to the forefront.
That's right.
I can't really, I guess in maybe 2.5 years, I'd like to be an assistant broker to someone, or have a broker's license. That was something that was for me for the next few years. And just looking forward to signing on and getting my first deal. Right now, as you know, I'm waiting on the DRE, but
yeah,
you know,
well, we're excited. I think that you have some momentum already. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for contributing. All right, so Jamie, one key thought, one key takeaway from our time together today.
One key thought and one takeaway is your 5-year self. I can say right now, what I'm working on myself right now will be 10 times better 5 years from now. I'm working on it every day. So if I go back 5 years before and where I'm at now, a totally different person. So I plan on being better. So talking to that dialogue that we say to ourselves, not just saying these quotes, it's about believing in what you're saying and manifesting those things and actually doing it. So the 5-year, I'm ready to be on fire. I'm heating up now. So 5 years is going to be way on fire. And I want to be inspiring others like I do my nieces and nephews. Just keep on pushing. Don't stop. Don't stop. Just keep.
I love this, Jamie. I love this. And I'm so glad that you said that. And it goes back to the quote that I put into the chat earlier. How would your daily actions change if you truly believe your future self was already real? Right? How would you show up right now, knowing that you're going to have 500,000 in the bank, knowing that you have this, knowing that you've built this business, knowing that you've gone on these shows? Like, how would you show up right now, knowing that that person was already real? And I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'm going to go out here and do this presentation and crush it and have some good, make some good relationships out here in Temecula. If you guys need anything, you know where to find me. But as always, keep it moving. Truly, truly keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision. And I do not say that lightly. That is the core focus of Keep It Moving. And that's all about the momentum that we're creating towards our life and everything that we're creating. I love you guys. Have an amazing day. Peace.